Should you start Amazon in 2022? Overall, guys, I'm still super bullish on starting an Amazon business. I know there's a lot of opportunity out there right now with cryptocurrency, NFTs, which are certainly viable investing options. But for long term, building a business, guys, that you're going to be proud of, create generational wealth, predictable, income every single month, Amazon FBA is where you should be. But stick around. In this video, I want to share why I'm still bullish on Amazon, why I truly believe that Amazon is one of the best business models you can start right now. Why is that? What are some of the most important things that you guys need to consider starting an Amazon business? Or for those of you already selling or about to start selling on Amazon, what are some things to be aware of for 2022? Welcome to the channel if you're new. Welcome back those of you my subscribers. My name is Brian Noonan. I'm a full-time Amazon FBA seller, mentor, and business coach. Right here on my YouTube channel, I release weekly videos covering everything Amazon, e-commerce, and personal development. If you enjoy that type of content, do me a favor right now. Head on down and press that little subscribe button. Give me a like on this video. It helps my channel grow, helps my videos reach more people. My job right here on this channel is to help educate, teach, impact as many lives as possible, sharing and documenting my journey of how I went from a struggling broke drug addict 7.5 years ago to being able to build and own multiple six-figure online businesses. Let's jump into this one, guys. All right, guys, let's start. First of all, how much money do you need to get started in 2022 to launch your first product to start an Amazon business? I've seen so many conflicting pieces of advice and content online recommending as much as $10,000 to $20,000 to start an Amazon business. Right now, guys, I'm seeing my students launch new products, and I'm able to launch new products for right around a little under $5,000. $3,000 to $6,000 is enough capital, guys, to get started, to launch your first product, to find your first product, buy the inventory required, buy the shipping, get a logo done, send it into Amazon, and then other launch costs like PPC, advertising. Around $3,000 to $6,000, guys, is what you're going to need for starting capital to invest into your first product. Now, you may need double that depending on your product if you go into a more competitive niche. It just depends on how fast you have to reorder inventory and kind of what selling price your product is at. If you're going to sell in a more expensive product, which I strongly recommend selling products that are like $30 to $100, you may need to order more, which will cost a little bit more investment. But where do you get that starting capital, guys? Should you go out and quit your job tomorrow because Amazon is such a great opportunity and you can make money at it? No, don't quit your job just yet. I know for me, it took me about 6 months to save the $3,000 roughly that I started with 3 years ago. I started with about $3,000. It took me 6 months to save that money because I was working as a bartender and banquet manager and living paycheck to paycheck. So if it takes you guys several months, that's okay. It took me roughly 6 months to launch my first product because of a combination of living paycheck to paycheck, only making about $2,000 a month. And then the other thing is it just takes time, right, to do the product research, to invest and find your first product, to get the listing created and all of that. But guys, starting capital, $3,000 to $6,000 to launch your first product. You may need, one more payment like that over the next, 4 to 8 weeks to be able to reorder. But don't go out and quit your job tomorrow, guys, even if you have that amount of money saved up. Number one, you may want to do a test listing or a test launch to prove the product will sell well. Number two, if you don't have help and you invest into the wrong product, a product that's restricted or patented or just too competitive, it does have the risk of taking 6 months to sell, and it'll take a while to get your money back. You should at least break even, though, if you follow my videos here on the channel. The worst that can happen is you'll usually get your money back. But don't quit your job tomorrow, guys. Do be working and putting money aside each paycheck so you have that required capital to start and launch your business. 2022, I feel, is going to be a very good year for us Amazon sellers. It's going to be moved more towards brands on Amazon in 2022, whereas in the past, guys, we were able to just launch a product or list a product on Amazon with, any kind of brand name that you wanted in the brand name box. When you create your listing, you could put generic or NA and then change it later on. However, Amazon has made changes and updates recently where we're not able to change the brand name. So don't create listings with just a placeholder brand name for now, like generic or NA, because you won't be able to change it, guys. Even once you get brand registry and you go to change it over, it's extremely difficult, if not impossible, to change the brand. So Amazon is actually moving because of these new updates, meaning you have to get brand approval first, not brand registry, and not a trademark is required to start selling or to start an Amazon private label business, but you will need to come up with a brand name, get a logo done, order at least one custom sample product that has your logo on it, and then submit pictures to Amazon to get brand approval, which is essentially where Amazon says, okay, this seller owns this brand or brand name, and they unlock your account so you're able to actually enter your real brand name on your listing. This is a super important step, guys. Before you create your first listing, get brand approval or get Amazon to approve you to use that brand name. Then, guys, once you do have the extra $500 to $800, go ahead and use trademarkia.com or LegalZoom and file your brand trademark, so then you can get access to Amazon Brand Registry. But brands, guys, is going to be huge going forward in 2022. I want you to think of like building a brand as you can just launch one product under the brand, but don't think of yourself as just one product or just think that one product is going to be a Goldilocks product. You want it to be focusing on launching about one product per quarter or around 3 to 5 products per year to build out this brand. It would be really nice, guys, if your first 3 products were in the same category and under the same brand name, so you can really start building out that brand. There's just tons more features and benefits that Amazon gives us sellers who have brand registry, such as video on your listing, A+ content to help with conversions and to tell your brand story, and the Vine program, lightning deals, brand referral program to get 10% back. There's so many more additional features, guys, that I want you guys to have access to. So focus on building a brand or branding all your products with that brand. Also, try to come up with a mission or cause or charity that your brand or organization or company supports. Don't just try to be a product on Amazon, try to be a brand. You want to make customers think and feel that they're buying into supporting a cause, a mission, or charity that your brand stands for. A quick topic on FBA fees, guys, and kind of inventory limits. Amazon actually just reduced the IPI threshold. This is the Inventory Performance Index score from 450 down to 400, so you're not limited by so much inventory storage max limits. If your IPI score is above 400, you won't face those inventory limits or as strict limits as sellers who have under a 400 IPI score. That IPI score, guys, is basically Amazon looking at, okay, how many products is this seller selling per month on average per 30 days? How many products are they selling on the account? You know, how much inventory is in our warehouse of their products? And then they kind of base it off of that, as well as open shipping plans. But really it's based off sales, storage volume, how much inventory you have there, and so sales, storage volumes, and then any open shipping plans and kind of seller and product performance. So that's a good sign, guys. Amazon has reduced 450 down to 400 for IPI scores. Now there are still kind of restock limits and some other kind of inventory troubles that you'll face just getting started in Q1, probably going into Q2 as well. But I do see Amazon, lifting a lot of those storage limits going into 2022. Definitely not going to be as strict and hard and complicated as it was in 2020 or even 2021. FBA fees, guys. Yes, Amazon, if you've seen the recent news, did just increase their FBA fees. This is not only for fulfillment fees by Amazon for every time they ship and package your product to the customer, they also raise slightly storage fees, as well as, sending a replacement or sending a replacement unit, a brand new product to a customer. Those fees went up a little bit. And then creating removal orders, those fees went up a little bit. This is actually standard, guys. I just consider this part of being an Amazon seller. Amazon raises their fees roughly once per year. Usually it happens in January or February of every year. It's not a huge increase, guys. You're not going to go from like paying $1 per unit in fees up to $2. It would be like paying $1 per unit in 2021. Now in 2022, you're paying $1.12. So not a huge, significant increase, but fees have definitely gone up. While we're talking about fees and costs, this is definitely something you want to incorporate into your overall kind of profitability. What is your profit margin? Knowing your profit margin in 2022 and having the pricing power to price your product higher is super important, guys. You don't want to try to just sell the same product as every other seller on the market. You're going to have a really hard time. You want to offer a unique, customized, improved, added value product that catches customers' attention, that gets them to stop scrolling, that gets them to choose your product to click on and eventually buy. And you want to be able to charge the highest possible price that you can, or at least be at the higher range, not the very bottom price or the lowest price in your product's niche or market. How are you able to charge the higher range or the higher price versus all the other sellers that are established and ranked and with reviews? That comes down to added value, both perceived value, what the customer actually sees when they're looking at your main image, that needs to stand out to them as more perceived value. You can do this through like added features with your product, added bundle items on with your product, and just overall better quality pictures and then actual product value. So perceived value, what is the customer looking at in your main image and with your product? What do they perceive the value to be? What added bonus or features does your product have that the competitors don't? And then actual value, guys, what is that? Well, that's when the customer actually gets the product in their hands. They can feel the quality is better versus products that they bought in the past. Maybe you have some customized product inserts, thank you cards, or other giveaways like an ebook, warranty, quick start guide, recipe card. All of these types of things, guys, can be super powerful to continue adding value to your customer as they get your product and open it, and that you want to welcome them to your brand's family. Give a little background in your insert card or on your packaging of what your brand is about, and that's just going to make customers feel good about choosing to buy your product and get incorporated with your brand. You also want to be thinking about social media, guys. This is another one that's going to be super important in 2022. Yes, you can just launch your product on Amazon and have some success, but where you're really going to succeed in 2022 is incorporating social media. There's both paid social media and organic social media. Organic social media, guys, would be your own brand's Facebook business page and Instagram page. You want to be posting weekly content around your product and your niche, helpful articles or news or trends or just updates on your product and brand on your brand social media pages. That would be organic posts. Then there's paid social media, like running Facebook, Google, or Instagram ads, guys. That's super powerful, driving external traffic to your Amazon listing. Amazon loves that. And if you have brand registry, enroll and use the Amazon brand referral program. You add a little attribution tag to your external ads on Facebook, Instagram, or Google, and then you're going to get 10% back in commissions for the sales that you drive from outside Amazon to your Amazon listing. So super powerful there, guys. Paid social media and organic social media, as well as using influencers. Influencers on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram are huge, guys. Partner and find influencers in your target, that have followers in your target market that want and use your product, and that can really boost sales. You can sell out of a launch just by finding and working with the right influencer. So super powerful, guys, to work and find with, influencers on TikTok or Instagram to help you promote your products. How much does it cost to work with an influencer? It can be as little as free, guys, just a free product you send them, or it can be as much as, $300. You send them a free product and $300 for a post or two or a story or a swipe up offer. Just depends on the influencer and the kind of deal that you guys want to work out together. Let's talk about real quick policies and rules. Amazon has recently come out with some new policies and rules, such as search, find, buy purchases, two-step URLs. They've told us that they wanted to give us a reminder that we shouldn't be using search, find, buy purchases, that we shouldn't be using two-step URLs, guys. On both of these, I would not use two-step URLs for the time being. For search, find, buy, guys, I did make another video on my channel, Maldives Part 2 Launch Strategy, where I go into how you can still use search, find, buy purchases, but you have to be very careful. I don't recommend using any search, find, buy service like AZRank or azrank.com. I'll talk about here in a minute, but don't use Rebate Key and don't use any other search, find, buy, agency or service on Facebook. It's just too risky, guys. Basically what happened is Amazon saw all these products on page 1 because of search, find, buy purchases. Products that shouldn't be on page 1, but they're there. Amazon didn't like that. So they came out with this update. We're going to ban your product or suspend your product if you're using search, find, buy purchases and we catch you. And they have all the data, guys. They can see exactly, what products should be on page 1 based on sales and performance versus the ones that are using search, find, buy purchases and two-step URLs only to get to page one, Amazon can see all that. And they want products that customers are going to like and love and choose to buy on page one, and they want to control that. When we try to control their page one, that's when we run into problems. So yes, you can still use search, find, buy purchases, guys. You just have to be very careful. I would only use your own email list to do some search, find, buy purchases, your own Facebook group for your brand or business. You can do a few in there. And by using, paid ads like Facebook or Instagram ads to your own ManyChat flow or your own landing page, where then you give the customer some simple search, find, buy, purchase instructions and collect their name and email for the refund. But it all needs to be done, guys, off Amazon. If you are going to, kind of risk it sort of doing search, find, buy purchases, only do it in small batches, maybe 10 to 25 search, find, buy purchases at a time, and make sure that there's no tracking of that once the customer is directed onto Amazon. You want only an external customer coming from wherever you're sending them from onto Amazon. They buy your product at full price. They wait for it to get to their house. Then you can leave them send them the refund. But it needs to be a verified purchase, guys. It needs to be a full price purchase and no trackable links or two-step URLs done on Amazon, and no trace of it being a search, find, buy, and you'll be safe. But just be careful with those guys and do it in small batches. AZ Rank, I have spoke with this company. So I mentioned not to use Boost Rooster, or don't use Boost Rooster for search, find, buy. They're still okay for reviews, but don't use Boost Rooster for search, find, buy or ranking. Don't use Rebate Key for ranking or search, find, buy. AZ Rank, guys, does have a more manual process, so you are able to still use them for some search, find, buy purchases. Just be careful, guys. I feel like they told me that they do it a very specific manual way, unlike Rebate Key, so that they won't get banned. But just be careful there, guys, okay? Rules and policies. We talked about kind of the updates on search, find, buy. Be careful with reviews, guys, as well, and don't use two-step URLs. Let's talk about, though, about kind of Chinese hackers or hijackers. What's happening there? I'm seeing a couple of things. Obviously, we have hijackers to deal with. A lot of hijackers try to jump on your listing and, sell your product, a fake product potentially, steal sales from you. That's always been a problem. I see that continuing to be a problem. There's ways that we can deal with that, such as a cease and desist letter, doing a test buy of one of their products and submitting pictures of the differences between yours and theirs, getting Amazon brand registry, getting a trademark, all of these, your logo on your product and packaging, all of these will help. But what I'm seeing is fake sellers or fake Chinese sellers or other competitors making fake IP claims, that's intellectual property claims, against products in an effort to get you suspended. And about 60% of the time, it actually does happen. Well, they'll get your listing suspended by Amazon just by making a false IP infringement claim. So what I recommend you guys do there is, I've got a couple people on Fiverr that I worked with in the past. These are Amazon account and ASIN suspension experts. What they specialize in is making brand invoices, brand authorization letters, and also responding with appeals and plan of action documents to Amazon in case this ever happens to you. I would have those two people on Fiverr on speed dial just in case you're ever put in that position where Amazon says, we've taken down your ASIN because of an IP infringement claim, and then they want all these different things like brand authorization letter, brand invoices, from the past 90 days. They want all these different things, and you have to respond very formally and very specifically to that request. You can't just say, I don't sell an IP protected product. I own my product. They won't respond to that, and it probably will not work. So brand authorization letter, plan of action document, all the appeal steps need to be addressed and written how it won't happen again. You just have to kind of play by their rules. And so those two people on Fiverr, I highly recommend, if you need their contact information, don't hesitate to reach out to me if that happens to you. Another recent thing that just happened in the last couple of weeks, I know hundreds of sellers that got locked out of their own listing. They weren't able to edit their own bullet points or their own description because Amazon did a system-wide update and basically locked us out of our own listing. And what did we have to do? It just took tons of seller support tickets until we're finally able to get an Amazon catalog manager team member to say, okay, look, I am the brand owner of this listing. I am the only seller. There's no reason I should be locked out of my own listing. So I know it's frustrating, but if that does happen, I've also got a doc on how you deal with that. Let me know if you guys need that. If you're locked out of your listing for some reason, you can't edit it, you're just going to have to create multiple support tickets to get that unlocked. So I see that happening a lot as well. Shipping material costs, guys. I didn't mention this in the beginning. DDP shipping has been super expensive, guys. It's been steadily on the rise with no, hesitation. Both sea shipping and air shipping has gotten extremely expensive, and I do see it slowly starting to come down in Q2 or Q3. But for Q1 or the next 3 to 4 months, I do see it continuing probably to go higher. But eventually, I do see shipping costs starting to, stabilize at least, and then slowly coming down the second half of the year. And then for material costs, guys, this is just a factor I also just build into my or part of my business. A lot of suppliers will message you and say, I'm sorry, I can't offer the old price. I have to increase it because of increased material costs. This should just be a factor, a part of running your business. And again, it all comes back to having the pricing power, the ability of that perceived and actual value to be able to charge a little bit more to cover those costs, okay? Finally, sponsored brand ads. Not enough sellers utilize Amazon sponsored brand ads. Yes, you have to have brand registry, of course, but with Amazon sponsored brand ads, guys, what I like to use them is the product collection ads. This is where I can run the top 3 of my best sellers at the top of page 1 with sponsored brand product collection ads. Those perform really well because I'm directing customers to my storefront and I'm running my best sellers, top 3 ASINs at the top. That's a product collection sponsored brand ad. Those work very well. And sponsored brand video ads. Video is huge, guys. Yes, you need amazing pictures, but video performs even better. So definitely have a video on your listing. Yes, have A+ content and beautiful images on your listing, but make sure you're running video on your listing and as sponsored brand video ads. I'll typically run, 1 to 3 best performing keywords as exact match, and I'll test another campaign video ad as phrase match for those sponsored video ads. But those are performing really well right now, guys. And recently they just came out with different targeting group bids where we can adjust the targeting group bids on the sponsored brand ads. Along with sponsored brand ads, guys, is the next one over, which you'll see in Campaign Manager when you're setting up a new campaign, which is sponsored display ads. These ads perform really well, guys. This is where you can advertise your product on your competitor's listing right under their bullet points or right under their add to cart buy now button on their listing. Run ASINs in there, guys, that have converted well in your auto or manual campaigns, sponsored product campaigns. Run sponsored display ads on ASINs that have converted well for you. They should continue to work well, just like sponsored video ads. All right, guys, I know we covered a lot in this video. I hope you found this extremely helpful for kind of some things that are super important factors I see going into 2022, what to be aware of, what to be prepared for, and just overall some helpful tips on making the most money in 2022. I wish you all of the luck and prosperity and success in 2022. Go out there and achieve it. And I'm, of course, always going to be here if you need help. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you on my next video.